barbed wire. I got a cobra snake for a necktie. A brand new house all on the roadside, and it's made out of rattlesnake hide. Got a brand new chin that baby built on top, and it's made out of human skull. Come on, take a little walk with me, baby, and tell me, who do you love? Who do you love? Now around the town, they use a rattlesnake whip. Take it easy, baby, don't you give me no lip. Who do you love? Who do you love? I got a tombstone and a graveyard mind. I'm just 22 and I don't mind dying. Who do you love? Yeah, who do you love? Ah, who do you love? Took her man by my hand. She said, Lonesome George, you don't understand. Who do you love? The night was dark and the sky was blue. Down the alleyway I swag and flew. Hit off bump and somebody scream. You should have heard just what I seen. Who do you love? Who do you love? Yeah, who do you love? Oh, who do you love? Graveyard man. Just 22, baby, I don't mind dying. Snakeskin shoes, baby, put them on your feet. Got the good time music with the boat in the beat. Yeah, who do you love? Who do you love? I walk 47 miles of barbed wire. I got a cobra snake for a necktie. Brand new house out on the roadside, and it's made out of rattlesnake hide. Got a brand new chin, the mama bit on top, and it's made out of human skull. Come on, take a little walk with me, child. Tell me, who do you love? Yeah, who do you love? Who do you love?
Oh, yeah. RK Owen, your communist ass onto the canvas of freedom. It's post-politics. Back at it. Sunday night. WrestleMania Sunday night. Most of the matches that I already wanted to watch have already been over with. But, yeah, so here we are. Once again. Kicking it back at you.
Sir. Oh, man, we had a
That's right.
baby over here all weekend. That was my nephew's
About to say.
Same deal. Yeah, no. He just surprised up and had a baby. Had no
Right.
idea. Yeah. No.
It's like, you know, I'm such an alpha dude that, like, you know, fucking I jerk off fucking kids there in the morning.
Yeah.
You know? I just
woke up this morning, rubbed one out, you know?
Right. Baby was there. Just incubated in the bed overnight.
Yeah.
Woke up crying. Yeah.
This bitch didn't have any formula ready or nothing.
Right.
Oh man, yeah. So no, it was
Kids can live off of their own like muscle tone and shit for like a couple days, no problem. So,
dude. I like it's funny because I've been intentionally right. Like I, because babies tend to really love my deep voice, right? Like
oh, yeah.
and so they just react to it. And so it's funny. Like I even like with my with my nephew's kid, I was like intentionally not when when Sam would be like, "Oh, just leave her over here," you know what I mean? I was like intentionally not holding her all the time and shit like that because I was like, no, no, because then it'll end up being me babysitting her all the time because she's like,
you're so good with
yeah,
her.
she's only quiet when you hold her, but you know what I mean? Like, because I know how that works. It's like no, the vibrations from the deep voice end up calming them,
Well,
and so
there's
it's
also
like
there's also things that women probably do naturally that like I've always taken conscious value of when I had Lily, my first baby or whatever. And I don't know, I probably did this a good little bit like with my little cousins and stuff when they were born. Yeah, I probably did. Cuz I was already an adult by like the time that my youngest two cousins were born. And I watched after them a great bit, but control like slowing down your heart rate, that kind
yeah,
of stuff. It's just like survivalist type of mentality too. Just like taking a conscious. It's just a good exercise in self control and try to regulate your body. Like that whole Rambo shit. Can survive. Shitty fucking weather conditions would eat things that make a billy goat puke. That whole thing.
yeah,
It's always, I don't know. I've always been very not conscious, but interested at least by those types of deals. So you slow your heart rate, you change your breathing and everything like that, like holding a baby and stuff. So yeah, there's like parts of that probably just naturally happen, especially with the mother of a child. But
no,
but
man, kids are they're just awesome. They are though. Like I mean, little babies are just so cool. Like I
well,
mean,
babies, I don't have a problem. Like the age my son's at is like I got a problem. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
I'm
Well,
gonna
yeah, I
have,
mean, as an infant, like they don't have any idea how to raise hell yet. You know what I mean? Like they can't test you as an infant.
but
You know
not
what I mean?
only that, with a
Yeah,
baby, there's
yeah,
nothing this thing can do without me
yeah.
doing it.
No, I mean, it wants to eat, sleep, and shit. Right? Like that's all it wants to do. Like, and I know that. Right? There's no like. It's not gonna be like. There's never an ulterior motive, right? It's not gonna be like scheming on you to go do this, right? Or like,
Right.
or like, what are you doing, you sneaky little bastard? You know what I mean? Like, there's not gonna be it's not going to be being sneaky because it can't move, right? Like it's just going to stay right there, and it either wants a bottle or you to get the shit off of it. You know what I mean?
Right,
Yeah,
get the shit off.
exactly. So yeah, man, it's pretty nice. And then plus, like, I never really babysitted babies all that much, right?
Babysat.
Yeah, like actually babysat, right? Like, I watched my little cousins and shit when I was younger and all that, but I never like straight babysat a baby.
Sure.
Um, and it's just funny, man. It really is like
Yeah, I don't.
it is a lot easier when you just get to give them back. You know what I mean? You're like, if the baby wakes up at 2 o'clock in the morning and screams until 3, right? You're like, whatever, I won't have to deal with it tomorrow, and I know that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's
I
nice.
don't miss that part of the baby stuff. I mean, it's hard, but you just know, it's
Yeah,
like I
yeah,
said, there's nothing this fucking kid can do without me.
yeah,
So just
exactly.
it's easier to get in that frame of mind of
Mhm.
I have to do this.
It really
But
is. It's crazy too, and actually, like I noticed too, like with your first one, it's also so much different, and really, it's just the uncertainty that's I think is such a pain in the ass with the first one, and not a pain in the ass so much as just the thing, the real issue, right, is that you're just so uncertain. Like with your second one, you're like, no, I know how this works. You know what I mean? Like I get it.
yeah,
But with the first one, it's like if sometimes when it's screaming, you're like, wait, is it screaming because of this? Or is it because of this? Or is it, you know what I mean? And by the second time, you're like, nah, I get it. If you don't have shit on you, you either need to burp or you need food. You know what I mean? It's one of those.
yeah.
Which is funny.
I'm a big on burping guy. Like,
Yeah, me too, dude. What's funny though is like,
Get it up, man. They
Isn't
will.
it crazy? Like, wouldn't it be awesome if like you still had the same problems as an adult, right? If like one of your major issues, like one of the major issues that bothered you throughout a day was just gas, right? Like you're like,
welcome to my world, sir.
that'd be so great.
I've got like indigestion. I take Prilosec and shit every day.
You know what? I guess you're right, though. Actually, yeah. The older you get, the more your infant problems arise again, right?
Just for me, more than the average person, burping is a lot of my day, dude.
The acid reflux and shit like that is like it's starting to get Sam now, right? Like she's starting to be that way. And when we first started dating, it wasn't really a thing, right? It didn't bother her. So she would eat the spicy ass food that had no reason to be spicy, right? Like, and I love spicy food too, but I would say like there'd be something that was spicy that I was like, listen, it doesn't need to be that hot. That's
put hot sauce on mashed potatoes. You know?
Like exactly. So I'd be like, no, that's just gonna hurt later. That's all that's doing. Like I'm not. And she would fuck with me like, oh, is it too hot for you? That kind of shit, right? Well, now it's doing it to her. And so I'll fuck with her about it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, is it too hot?
How old is Sam? She's
she's a year and a half younger than me. So
okay, yeah. So she's like my age. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's just not.
That shit hits women for later, but like I knew like about 25, 26.
I think it definitely hits later.
I was like, oh, dude, no, this is like, I mean, it's an inconvenience, and I'm not gonna stop eating it, but yeah. I've got to start taking these Prilosec or whatever.
It just sucks when food starts being an issue. You know what I mean? When you're like, yeah, no, I can't eat that. You know
I just want to eat what I fucking want to eat, man.
Well, and especially because I've always been one of those people that has no, like, I've never paid attention to what I eat. I just haven't. Like, I'm not that guy. I don't like. That's even why when people start doing the like, oh, this and that, and like. And we've had the conversations here, right, when we're talking about fast food and shit, and I'm like, look, man, I just kind of eat whatever the fuck. If I'm hungry and there's something there, I eat that, right?
Yeah. I try not to, but I still kind of do. You know what I mean? I try not to.
You're just a little bit more conscious of it than I am.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, it just, I now have to, like, the older I get, the more I notice I have to be that way. You know, and it's like, oh, man, this sucks. You know what I mean? But yeah, whatever. Let's move on and sit here and talk about our diets all night.
Yeah, right. Babies and diets. What kind of old timer show is?
You've now turned into you've now turned into Trip and Zach's senior hour. You know,
right? Exactly. It's like the panic room and the broken hip are back at it again with politics. Glad you could join us tonight. Once again, stem cell research and how to get a better lung, or whatever. Like,
yeah. Oh man, dude.
All right, hold on. Let's hit the intro. We'll be back.
Let's do that.
We'll run down some, some articles
reset.
and push the reset button. Hit the intro. We'll be back in just 2 minutes. Post politics coming up next. Join us. Get your friends on the phone.
And the sad part is that most people seem to have been indoctrinated to believe that bullshit only comes from certain places, certain sources. Advertising, politics, salesmen, not true. Bullshit is everywhere.
The NWO Fighter, the show that gets America its balls back.
And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, by all the apparatus, and you've got to make it stop. And you've got to indicate to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all.
I don't want to put a violent connotation on it, but this is a war zone. I'm talking about my life and yours.
If you're not on some government list by now, you're doing something wrong.
After 8 years of lies and hypocrisy, people love this guy. Leads me to a very disturbing question. How far up your ass does this guy's dick have to be before you realize he's fucking you?
It's good for kids, too.
I mean, you're born absolutely free except for laws of nature. If you drink, you get drunk. That's a law. If you get old, you die. That's a law, too. If you sit on a tack, you will bleed from the ass. These are the only laws that you're born with, and any government just fucks you out of that type of freedom.
If you're not involved by now, you are just as much at fault as our oppressors.
I was terrified when my doctor told me that I had a unique and interesting personality trait.
It's post-politics with Trick here.
All right, everybody, we are back at it. Thanks for joining us, children. Where is my dude? I did this thing, and it's messed up my whole soundboard. So now everything is just a little off from where I usually tap onto it at.
Yeah, I don't even know. Like it actually, Skype just warned me that my microphone was really quiet, and
you're coming across fine here, dude.
yeah, no, I mean I don't even know why, because I'm well. What's funny, like I have my broadcast shit open, so like I can see at the bottom how loud my mic is. Like I can watch it as I speak.
Yeah.
And Skype's like, "Hey, your mic's really quiet," and I'm like, "Dude, no, it's not. Why are you bullshitting me, Skype?" Yeah,
but we've got some stories to get into. Let's me and Zach wanted to bring up you had the whole police aren't. I mean,
yeah, it's actually
we might as well start off with that. But yeah, of course, yeah, people have been talking. I'm sure most people listening to this show have come across that at one point or another, but not necessarily know about the case that was part of, etc. But nonetheless,
go through it real quick. But so this is something that like I mean, I've shared it pretty regularly, right? And actually, what happened recently is that there was like a meme going around on Instagram that was the a picture of the side of a cop car, and it said it has the "to serve and protect" in quotes, right? And on the meme it says, I like how they put "to serve and protect" in quotations, like they're being sarcastic, right?
Yeah.
And my comment on almost every single one of the memes like that came through that I saw was like, well, actually, since 2005, they are, right? Like they are being sarcastic, at least since 2005.
Sure.
Because there was and this is the New York Times article. This is always the one that I go to. I'm sure there had to have been more, but it's the justices rule. Police do not have a constitutional duty to protect someone, and this was in June of 2005 that this ruling went across. And I'm just gonna read the first like 2 paragraphs and kind of explain the story on my own, so I don't have to go through the whole article. But
yeah, sure.
The it's Washington, June 27th. The Supreme Court ruled on Monday that the police did not have a constitutional duty to protect a person from harm, even a woman who had obtained a court-issued protective order against a violent husband, making an arrest mandatory for a violation. The decision, with an opinion by Justice Antonin Scalia, and dissents from Justices John Paul Stevens and Ruth Bader Ginsburg, overturned a ruling by a federal appeals court in Colorado. The appeals court had permitted a lawsuit to proceed against a Colorado town, Castle Rock, for the failure of the police to respond to a woman's pleas for help after her estranged husband violated a protective order by kidnapping their 3 young daughters, whom he eventually killed.
This is not without merit or value.
Exactly. And that was my thing, is that originally when
these gang members go.
Yeah, I mean, you're literally saying now that, and obviously this is old. This is, it's over 10 years old, but it's one of those things that what's crazy to me, and I was talking to Sam about this before, is that it's crazy to me that you can be in a country where you can be prosecuted for killing someone who broke into your house, right? But in that same country, you have the cops, the people that they claim are supposed to protect you from that situation, have won a case saying that they don't have to protect you, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court. So to me, it's just absolutely crazy that we have that issue. Like, it's crazy to me that both of those kind of situations can happen in the country. Because, I mean, they're basically, in that situation, the law is saying, no, you should just be a victim. Like that, I mean, that's it. There is no, like, if they'll prosecute you for killing someone who broke into your home, and they will also not prosecute officers for enforcing I mean, it's not like she just called the cops and said, "Hey, my ex-husband's crazy," right? Like, no, she went as far as she filed a restraining order, And for that restraining order to get approved, that means that the cops also agreed that it was an issue. And then after somebody else agreed that it was an issue and that she needed to be protected, she called and requested help, and no one helped her. And then
why? Because you're thin blue line gang.
Exactly. Hey, it wasn't that important. We got other shit going on. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on. And even here's my thing. Even if the issue was, hey, look, the police we were really overloaded. We had all kinds of shit going on, and they were coming out there. They just didn't have the time to respond yet. Whatever. That's fine. Issues like that happen, right? Like, I can understand if they were like, listen, they couldn't get but you shouldn't also be promoting that you should not protect yourself and that you should depend on the police.
Sure.
When you know that situations like that can arise.
I don't take matter into
your own hand. Exactly.
Yada, yada, yada. And not only that, there are, I mean, to say dozens over the course of this show alone, I guarantee there's hundreds of articles that we've covered.
Oh, yeah. Very, very similar.
Somebody that either that's been said, you know, don't take matters into your own hands, anti-vigilante justice when it comes to court stuff, like, oh, this person, you know, protected themselves, but they didn't have the regularly allocated ammunition of, you know, it's the Starfleet or whatever is fucking, you know, whatever.
Yeah, like, I mean, it's any arbitrary rule that's been, you know, that's been hashed out over the past 10 years or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean?
Like, you should have waited on us. And then how many times has that resulted in dead people? You know what I mean? Yeah. A lot. Or people being severely hurt, you know? And it's like, I don't think what you said earlier, I want to touch on what you just said, though, too, where it's like, I can understand if they're dealing with other shit. Guess what? Nowadays, sorry, man. Maybe
agreed.
15 years ago, that might have been the case. 15, 20 years ago, that might have been the case. Nowadays, like I said, I live in a place that's starting to really grow, and I'm seeing cops. You'd be lucky to see 15 cars just on the way out here when I used to travel from Orlando to get out here.
Yeah.
Now, if there is only 15 cars you see, which there's not, definitely one or two of them are cops. You know, there's more cops out here in this area. Zero crime. I mean,
I think,
but relatively speaking,
but I mean, I would agree though. I would agree with that for the most part. We definitely have a lot more cops, and I would just say that depending on the size of your city, depending on where you're at, whatever. My reason for saying that is more.
That's what I'm saying. The shakedown is more important than
absolutely. Well, you're not going to get any income. They don't get any income from protecting that, and so.
How many times have we brought that up? The only thing I that I got to say about that is, like, it's not. Exactly. It's not a revenue generating thing, and you're not going to pull somebody off of. Why? I guess it just further proves that happens. That's what the case is.
Well, and here's the thing:
generation is what's important, not actually helping people.
Well, and here's the issue: is that both of us are capitalists. I actually believe that the police that they would be better if revenue generation was their motivation. But revenue generation on a free market system, on the way that everyone else has to worry about generating revenue. Whereas, when you have the government has a monopoly on police forces. You can't just go hire your own police force. But here's the deal: if you had multiple police forces, that police force right there just would have lost a lot of business. People would have stopped right there. They would have no longer hired that company to be their protectors in that area. They would have said, "Hey, this is." So they would have got a new company that actually took care of their fucking people, and that's the way. And that would be the deal: is that people aren't these departments aren't held responsible because you can't go get someone else. You can't, and not only that, but these Supreme Court justices and these people that are supporting them that are saying that they're not responsible for backing up a fucking protective order, which is exactly what the fuck that is.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
It's supposed to be your fucking job description. That's the kind of thing that is what's supposed to happen.
Yeah, they shouldn't be able to put serve and protect on the side of the fucking car. It shouldn't be allowed.
I'll agree with that, but the other part about that is that the last thing that I do want to say about that is that what they do is they don't say, "Oh, sorry, we fucked up as a as a police force or as a sheriff's office or whatever." But I tell you what they do say. They go, "Oh, that's the case for more cops in the area because obviously."
Yeah.
There's of crime.
Yeah.
So we can do is hire a couple more people because the people are outraged that something like this would happen in their small town or what the fuck ever. You know what I'm saying?
They just don't tell you that the cops that they're going to put out there are just going to be for speeding and for, you know what I mean? It's just going to be for more revenue generation. They're not going to put more cops on the on the domestic violence fucking team. That's not going to be the case. It's going to be more cops on the the speed trap team. And that's just kind of the thing. I mean, that's if you go look, even with this recent school shooting, people were talking about, oh well, they need to hire more cops and they need to do this, and it's like, well, actually, after Columbine, there was I may get the numbers wrong here because I'm just popping off the top of my head, but it was somewhere of like 10,000 other cops were hired. Like they hired 10,000 new cops. The difference is that most of those cops ended up being truancy officers and shit like that. They weren't cops that were in there protecting the fucking kids. They were cops that were in there arresting. Yeah, they were in there fucking treating parents like fucking criminals for not sending their kids to school. It was that kind of shit, and that's what's fucked up about it.
By the way, it's not high. Yeah, that's definitely a great point to bring up. Is that if it isn't things like highway robbery, I'll tell you what it is mostly that people don't look at. People say, speed traps and state troopers and fucking trying to pull you over for whatever if you got pot in your car or whatever. There's plenty of that going around, and of course that's a huge type of deal. But what it really is, just beneath the surface about that also justifies it is those crime. They can show that as a quote crime statistic.
Oh yeah.
To hire more people, and B, the underlying issue with that is that they also get more people in and out of the fucking judicial system. That is the name of the game.
Yep.
Fucking Zach knows that better than most.
Hey man, yeah, you get your ass in there once, man. They got you.
They start, I mean, unless you fucking leave town. I mean, dude, after 2 times, I had 2 quick times, and I fucking hightailed it out, man.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't lived in South Carolina since. I was like, fuck it, I'm out of here.
Oh, yeah.
Time to start anew.
I promise you, as soon as possible, I will be out of the greater Harris County area for sure.
Yeah, it's just like I said, it's a never-ending cycle, and what it is just a way to have people, either keep more motherfuckers in jail or make you so broke just to keep yourself out of jail.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game, man. Whether we're talking about the family court system or you committing a nonviolent crime, crime is in quotation marks, of course.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera.
It's just, I mean, it really is. It's sad that there's so much, we spend so much time if this was if they were really concerned about people and kids, right, then they would spend time going after, consider the fact that, all right, there's organizations like NAMBLA, right? Like the, you've got that are like organizations that are dedicated to fucking sexually abusing children. That's what it is. And trying to make it seem nice, right? Like trying to make it seem like it's not as fucking bad as it is. And you've got those kind of organizations that exist, but for some reason you've got cops that are sitting on the side of the road trying to do sting operations on prostitutes and shit, right? Like, so you've got cops that are sitting on the side trying to make sure that they bust 2 adults in a voluntary exchange
Sure,
rather
which
than
I
trying to
get.
infiltrate the guys that are over here trying to fuck little kids. You know,
There's a lot of quote, like I said again in quotation marks, a lot of quote criminality that would make it so much better for the buyer, the user, the interaction.
yeah,
If
absolutely.
you fucking legalized it. I mean,
Yeah, no, I mean it's the same thing with the hardcore drugs, right? I mean,
well, they never find a way to properly tax it unless you're talking about things like legalization of marijuana. But
yeah, I mean even with that though, the criminality. I mean that's what I think people don't realize that the risks that you have in these like in these your skid rows and your little
Right.
shit like that ultimately could be taken out of there. Like obviously I'm for the legalization of all drugs, but there is no reason why drugs like marijuana and heroin should be at the same place.
But
Like,
that's
that
what I
shouldn't
mean.
be, you know what I mean? Like you shouldn't be having to go to the same area to get fucking
Drugs
crack
and-
and marijuana. You know what I mean? Like like if you're going to get weed, you shouldn't have to go to a place where illegal things are sold because, weed and fucking crack are going to be totally different risks. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And things like that would be solved by getting rid of the shit that we know to be false. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm for the legalization of all drugs, but I totally understand like people's issues with things like crack and heroin and shit like that. But 90% of the fucking country has no problem with marijuana. So why are we putting that in the same fucking area? It's just it's crazy.
And I mean, when you talk about like slinging pussy and shit too, it's like,
Yeah.
you know what you do? You take some bitch that would be a beaten ass hoe or sex trafficked or possibly a kidnapped fucking young youth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's supposedly like
thrown into this shit or got mixed up with the wrong people. What you would really have is a well-regulated system of bitches that want to sling fucking pussy, and they get to go home at the end of the day.
Well,
They
and
might,
that's the thing is that
might have a daughter or a son. You know,
people
what I-
act like you're insensitive if you're like, look, some bitches, that's just all they can do, right?
Like
Like
the-
there's some women out there that all they can do is sling pussy, right? That's not a
the
and they
world
act
needs
like you're-
pussy slingers too. That's
yeah,
a,
but they act like you're insensitive, and it's like, wait a second, are you disagreeing with me? Are you saying that there are not women out there that's all they do? Are you dumb enough to actually say that there are not women out there who only fuck? That's all they do. Like that's not a hard thing. We know that. We know we have terms like gold diggers and things like that, right? Like what? Just because that is a sexier prostitute, we're not going to call her that. And it's like, nah, dude, look, there are people out there that just do that, and that's fine. Why hate on them for that? That's obviously what they do. And I don't know. I think that it's crazy that we have, like I said, it's crazy that we have organizations like NAMBLA and shit like that are allowed to just kind of keep doing their thing. And not to say that like, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, well, if NAMBLA exists, we should just go in there and shoot them all and blah, blah, blah. No, I understand that ultimately, yeah, it would be great if we could, but I realize in reality that that's not the way that a free society even would act, right?
Sure.
But it's one of those things of, if you are telling me that we can have cops that are like, trying to infiltrate drug dealers and prostitution rings and things like that, but we don't have cops that are out there trying to infiltrate organizations like NAMBLA, that's fucking ridiculous. Like drug rings are people that are doing it voluntarily. It's people that
the same people, like,
yeah,
just
exactly. Yeah.
Get you some glasses on that creepy ass fucking mustache, and fucking you will fit right in with NAMBLA. They won't even second guess your fucking bullshit.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like you look exactly like them. You will fit in perfectly. It's not even an issue. It just
talk
is, man.
a slighter undertone when you speak, and a little bit more slowly. And people, I think I just got my new fucking pedophile character.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Yeah, we just talk like this, and
Old Chester.
Yeah, Chester's a little
Chester.
bit too on the nose, but
Right there.
I'm writing it down now because I really want this character, and I think we need to put that out there. Pedo character, okay, develop.
Oh man, we'll discuss names.
Yeah,
after behind the scenes. But yeah, man, I mean, it just really is. It's crazy to me. There's a lot of like, and what's funny, man, and I talked about this last time we were on the air, is
we're hitting a minute, but yeah, well,
yeah, I've been doing a lot of Jordan Peterson lecture watching and interview watching and things like that, and it's gotten me back into, and I'm so thankful for him as far as that goes, for anything other than just being able to listen to something that gets my brain going again, right? That gets me, looking at society and looking at different philosophical, principles and things like that. Because there's just not enough of those. Whereas, like, you've got your guys that are out there doing political debates and things like that, like Shapiro and guys like that are out there, but they're all just strictly political. Which is where, like, I appreciate Peterson, because it's not a strictly political thing. He's got a lot of philosophy and sociology and psychology in there.
Yeah, that guy's been on fire. Just I don't know. There's something about his demeanor, and also like being from a different culture than kind of what has been spun as, like, Ben Shapiro, Milo, fucking that whole kind of circle. He's like a real scholar and a real dude, and also a great.
I just liked him.
Go back and watch his Joe Rogan podcast. Because
actually, dude, I stayed up the other night for 12 fucking hours because I found out that he had been on Rogan 4 times. I had only watched one of his. I had only seen him on Rogan once, and then I saw that he had been on there 4 times, and I was like,
his new book, he really gets in. This is why Jordan Peterson is way more of a scholar than the rest of them, because he really gets into the psychology of, why we're like unhappy as individuals nowadays, why this rise of the left has been, filled with these
so poisonous
young, unhappy fucking people, really. And it's like, no, you just have to, there's certain steps that you can take to make this happen. But we're going to hit break. We've got Tom Segura on for Carlin's Corner. We'll come back with a song. And I have to report that fucking Undertaker showed back up with John Cena unannounced. And his first, Undertaker won against John Cena in his first fucking match in 3 years at WrestleMania. So I was like, they retired the hat and the gloves and all that stuff, and then
I saw you looking real interested over there a second ago.
Dude, fucking the dead man fucking won for the first time in 3 years after what was supposed to be a retirement last year. So
I will say, dude, he's probably the last of the people that I really loved.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and WWE.
Still doing it. He just shows up and fucking kills it at WrestleMania.
Dude, what is he, like, fucking 95?
No, he's 50-something. No, he's probably...
Damn, I can't believe he's 50-something.
Yeah,
That's
I think
crazy.
he's like my parents' age. I think he's like 50, somewhere between like 54, which is a little bit younger than my parents. But
dude, I would have thought he was in his fucking 60s at least, seriously.
No,
I mean, because I feel like he's been around since we were like
1990. Fucking... Survivor Series, 1990. His debut. So that was 28 years ago, dude.
Good Lord. All right.
Yeah, I guess he must have been. Yeah,
dude, he's doing it for. Yeah, I mean, so you're looking at it like damn near 30 years. The guy's been doing it. Fuck, man. Wow.
But we're gonna hit break. We'll be right back, everybody. Let's see. All right, yeah, I got something for you for that ass. Stay tuned. More post politics coming up next. We're doing whatever the fuck we want to. We'll get into other articles, news topics when we return. Much love. Stay tuned.
I've noticed that you guys here in Minneapolis have some very, very aggressive bicycle riders. I didn't know that was a point of pride, but what's going on? This is training grounds? Curry, fuck them. That's what I'm getting to. I get it, like, like if you ride your bike, like, that's cool, that's healthy and green. Now shut the fuck up and get on the sidewalk. Seriously, you should. Remember when you were a kid? You rode your bike around your neighborhood like, bring, bring. I'm coming home, mommy. And then a car came by, what would you do? You would move. That's right. Yes. And you would move because it's a fucking car. Yes. And you understood that concept as a child. Now it's grown men, right? Adults on bicycles, okay, in the middle of the, not like on the side, not like hugging the curb, middle of the street, doing a little bit of this, like a little, and it's followed by a lot of attitude, right? Like, hey, you don't fucking see me? I'm on my bike. And it's like, yeah, man, don't you see me in my car? The thing that'll rupture your spleen if I tap you with it? What is with the attitude? If I lose my temper, we're looking at involuntary manslaughter, all right? A little... Oops. I didn't mean to do it. Why are you riding a bike? This is the age of technology. This isn't Ho Chi Minh City in 1976. Get $100 a month together and lease a Honda. And if you can't do that, maybe you should move to Ho Chi Minh City.
It's going down right here. Hold that nigga back over there. Niggas finna get fucked up. So you let y'all niggas go. Who gonna get fucked up? I'm gonna let you know. Whacking niggas on their head. No problem. You don't want no problem, nigga. Shut up. Tell them. You can get caught in the club. Roll with your hood, get stumped in the club. Hey. But you can get bugged in the club. Get fucked up in the club. We don't give a fuck. But you don't want no problem. But you don't want no problem. But you don't want no problem with me. Me, we be real deep. Hey. You don't wanna be dead in the streets. Mouth full of blood and soul full of heat. Why you tryna act hard as hell and you know damn well you don't wanna feel the shell? Nigga, I been down by law. Gun in my head, press dead to the wall. I got big balls and bullets like baseballs. Spit your dome, piece of straight, knock out all y'all. Hell no, them boys don't play. Straighten up to your face, put your pistol away. I don't piece the weed to my head and pray for the folks in the club that's scared. Got a problem with that? You can get caught in the club. Roll with your hood, get stumped in the club. Hey. But you can get bugged in the club, get fucked up in the club. We don't give a fuck. But you don't want no problem. But you don't want no problem. But you don't want no problem with me. Me and me, we be real deep. Hold them back, hold them back. Man, fuck that nigga. Fuck that, hold them back. Gotta push that nigga. Hold them back, hold them back. Push that nigga. Fuck that, hold them back. Ain't shorty your song, goddamn it it's on. Keep popping in my face and get popped in the dome. Long rush motherfuckers from my birth. If a nigga fall, that's when shit gets worse. The problem with you niggas is, you just talk too much. Man, swing on the nigga and fuck his ass up. Or you can walk on by with your nuts in the tub. I'll be obliged if you really won't get crunk. In the A, we don't play them games. We just stack and slang and load up the things. You can buck if you wanna and catch a bowl. Even pretty ass girl beat your ass and take your hoe, nigga. You can get caught in the club. Roll with your hood, get stumped in the club. Hey. But you can get bugged in the club, get fucked up in the club. We don't give a fuck. But you don't want no problem. But you don't want no problem. But you don't want no problem with me. Me and me, we be real deep. Hey. Yeah, man. This is motherfucking BME clique. Foundation, okay? The youngest of the squad. Hey. I would have to try extra hard now, nigga, to get it through this crunk shit. I know some of y'all niggas ain't listening, but man, fuck y'all niggas. I'm put it like this: 8 times, stay down. Okay, so and that's how we gon' play it like that, so. Look, buddy, where you at? Get out the crowd if you scared. Get out the crowd if you scared. A dead nigga, don't get it wrong. It's on. Press the crunk, bitch. Head bust up. Some motherfucking head split. Wide the fuck open. Lil John on the track. Be you lead, hey.
All right, everybody, back at it. God, I wish I could have seen your face during that. We got our graphic up for the YouTubes.
Yeah,
but...
no. What's funny is like during that, I can see you can't see me.
Yeah.
So like, it's funny because like, all right, during mine, I got like, because right, I have the scene that I'm throwing up next, and the scene that's active right now is what's on my screen, right? So I can see you in the scene that I'm gonna throw up next. But you can only see the scene that's up right now, so yeah, I'm blocked out. But yeah, it's funny. So I can watch you and you can't see me. It's kind of funny. It's like what the FBI gets to do with your webcam. You know what I mean?
with that shitty clock and Scarface. Did you notice 12 wasn't in there?
Yeah.
And it's a big fucking camera. But I don't know, man. That's a fucking throwback, man. I don't know. I totally forgot about that song. Remembered it tonight, and then I was just like, "You guys say what you want to, man." But that's me and Zach's heyday.
Yeah, man. Nah, dude, I love all that shit, dude.
Fresh out of high school, getting crazy, fucking, that was like we're going to stomp somebody, like or whatever.
Yeah. Dude, I am not I still love every single one of them. Dude, they come. It's funny because that shit still comes on every now and then, or what happens is a lot of times if I'm like, if I'm drawing on the computer, I'm doing something, I've got YouTube just kind of cycling in the background.
Sure.
And every now and then you get like a random that you haven't heard in a while that comes up, and you're like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Like, I love it, man. I love it. It doesn't happen on the radio quite as often anymore.
Oh no.
I actually read a meme the other day that was like the same thing. That was like a meme from a guy that it was tutored or was a substitute for a 8th grade class, and he was talking about I heard a kid listening to Weezer, and I was like, oh hey, I like Weezer, and they were like, and they said, yeah, no, I'm really into classic rock. I feel like I was born in the wrong generation. And he was like, I've never felt so attacked in my life,
Sure. It's like classic rock, their first album. I remember I was in 4th grade. I think it was like 94, like when
I got real fucked up the first time they played Nirvana on our classic rock station. I was like, fuck you.
Integrating like the past handful of, I would say like the past like 5 years, they've started integrating and really what that really is about is not as much of quote classic rock, but it's really about them kind of like saving rock radio station.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a classic rock radio station, but we throw grunge in there, and that was like 5 years ago. They kind of started doing that.
Yeah, they started throwing some grunge, started throwing in some Metallica every now and then, that kind of shit, which is understandable. And actually, I'd say Metallica is more understandable for them to throw in than Nirvana, right, as far as classic rock goes.
Sure.
Because Metallica was around when we were born.
Yeah, they were already around by the time we were born. Yeah. So.
But yeah, man, it really is. It is a little. Does make you feel a little bit old when you start hearing the fact that they could even stretch to put on your music on classic rock.
But you think about that, damn. Like the Blue album turns 25 next year. You understand what I'm saying? Like that, arguably.
Yeah, no.
Classic rock.
I mean, no, it definitely is, because you think about it. When we were in the 90s. There was definitely classic rock was 70s music, and
that's what I'm saying. That's like my dad rolling around, like, and I guess I just had a different frame of mind when you're talking about that 70s stuff, and
yeah.
Like, I mean, it was like the late 80s, early 90s, and I remember rolling around my dad listening to, whatever was on classic, AC/DC, fucking Scorpions, Foreigner, whatever the fuck they put on, those that classic rock station, and I just remember thinking like that was like so far removed, and now we're the guys.
Yeah, now that's
so
us.
Far
Yeah,
removed from.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry, that was 25 years ago, son. Damn.
Damn it. Yeah, dude. It really is. It sucks. I mean, it's cool, whatever. But I'd rather not be old if I didn't have to be.
Sure. It all works out for the benefit at the end of the day. If you like, I don't know. I'm a big music historian with my kids too. I'm like, hey, this came out when I was your age, or whatever, and like just so that frame of reference is there. And I think my dad did that to me for a good. He's like this, like even when I was younger than that, he's like, man, this song came out in 7th grade. I remember, you know what I mean? Like if it would come on, whatever song, but. Yeah, that's good stuff for history, frame of reference. It might be. I don't know. I just like time periods. That's my historical. Sure. I like history and shit like that. So it's like knowing times and dates and battles and this many numbers. This many lives lost in the Battle of Gettysburg or whatever the hell it was at the time. Like I've always. It's kept me sharp, I guess I can say, throughout the years. But
yeah, absolutely.
As sharp as I can be. Moving on with other articles. Homeland Security to compile database of journalists, media influencers.
Oh.
So, next on the list.
Damn, I hadn't seen that one.
Just came out over the weekend. So, Homeland Security to compile database of journalists, media influencers. The Department of Homeland Security posted a contract request this week for media monitoring services, which will compile a database of hundreds of thousands of journalists, bloggers, quote, media influencers. I hope we're on the list. I wonder if, you know what, for the first time since that started, I might actually file a freedom of information request just to see if us or any of our affiliates. I'll do it for you guys. Don't worry. Like I said, JRev Radio, Raz Radio Live, Salty Talk Radio, Radio Chaos, IPM Nation, and our own YouTube page as well. Journalistic Revolution. I'll put all of those in my request. So once this I'll give it a month or two to let it get kind of underway. I don't know. We'll see I don't think they really say when this kind of goes intact. I
mean, I would have to assume if you're gonna be watched, you're probably already. I would assume they've already got you. I'm sure they've already got you on a list somewhere. They're just not allowed to watch you yet. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Well,
they're not legally allowed to watch you yet.
Like I said, let me reiterate by saying this here. We'll compile a database of hundreds of thousands of journalists, bloggers, and quote media influencers for the federal government. I will be kind of insulted if we're not.
I mean, hey, listen,
thousands of people.
This shit's gonna start getting a lot more loud if I'm not on a fucking list somewhere.
Exactly.
I feel like I've earned that spot.
You know? Yeah. Fuck everybody else. Like I feel like I failed if us or our affiliates are not on this list. We haven't been doing our job, sadly enough.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, put us on the list.
Yeah,
I might just call the DHS and ask.
We'll just have like a full episode of us saying bomb and shit like that.
Right. Hey, easy now. I don't know if you've heard lately, but YouTube's been on a.
Dude, they're on a fucking kick, man. God damn. Dude, them and Instagram, to tell you the truth, dude. Like, I've had, and whereas Instagram, they'll tell you, like, right when you post the comment, like, right when you go to make a comment, it'll say, oh, we're not posting that, right? Like, and you're like, what? Fuck, I got to rewrite that? And it only does it on shit that I wrote a paragraph, and I'm like, fuck you, dude. I'm not doing it again.
I've got another article that I really, I didn't share it, and I didn't know if we'd even get to it tonight, but one of the co-founders of Twitter came out and said, like, we should just get rid of the Republican Party just to have one single. The Democrats should basically make a political civil war to have them the only political party.
Yeah, I mean,
United
here's
States.
the thing. Like, I would have to say, like, I mean, and just on logic alone, right? Like, not with any of my my leanings or anything like that involved, but just on pure, like I said, on pure fucking logic alone, I would say that when you are the side that is claiming that guns are dangerous and they fucking scare you, you should not be the people that go in to start some shit with the people that say, I love my guns. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's just a bad move. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? Like, it's not there's no way that's going to play out well for you. You know,
yeah,
that's why I don't like regularly go to, like, you know, jujitsu dojos to talk shit to people type of shit. You know what I mean?
Here we go, though. After an outcry on social media, a Department of Homeland Security spokesman tweeted, quote, "This is nothing more than the standard practice of monitoring current events in the media."
Yeah.
Really? Then why don't you fucking say that that's the narrative then?
Yeah,
or
why don't you just say, hey, nothing really new, guys. We're just continuing standard practice. You know?
And if you want to fucking say that what standard practice is and what here's the thing. Here's where government, media, and all, quote, areas of influence in between sort of drop the ball, is that they want to act like, these independent news organizations don't hold any water, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And why doesn't DHS just say, hey, CBS, ABC, NBC, Fox News, and CNN. Those are the only people we're looking at because they have all of the, hearts and minds.
They're the only people that are doing actual coverage of anything.
Right.
But I think that's what they're trying to say too, though, is that those guys really are covering things, and everyone else is just being fucking public dissenters of, you know what I mean? Like, everybody else is basically just talking shit, is kind of what I think
there's
saying,
a lot of people with this independent realm that we exist within that are like completely full of shit, and some might say the same thing about us.
Yeah,
but,
no, I mean, I will say that, I mean, at least 1 out of 10 times I might be completely full of shit.
Right.
But the other 9, I'm solid. So I'm not worried about it. But yeah, I mean, it really is like, there's no way. I mean, I think what's happening too is that, like, regardless of, you don't have to be able to see the numbers that CNN is getting to know that people aren't buying that shit anymore, right? Like, I mean, you don't need to be able to see. I mean, I'm sure, the people that at CNN that can see their numbers, they probably have an even better understanding of it. But when it comes down to it, I mean, we can all tell that nobody's fucking watching that shit anymore. Like, I mean, people are, and even the easier way to see that is that the only time anybody makes any, comments about that kind of shit is it's very generalized. It's basically, it's a really general statement on the 30-second clip that was taken from Fox and then shared on the internet. It's not like somebody was watching that show the other night.
Not only that, but like they've. Now, don't get me wrong, like, we fall into this category too, but that's just what we do here, is opinionated fucking bullshit masquerading it as the news. We'll read the articles, we'll talk about it, we'll editorialize. That's what we do here. But then we also have, our homies like Ford,
but we don't claim to be...
Exactly.
They claim to be that. Yeah, that's the difference.
They're still the mainstream outlets are still masquerading as that. And there's people like News to Share and people like Ford and his whole crew that are sitting there going like, unbiased, whatever. Here's what's important to us. So, of course, put the issues that are important to people like us more on the forefront than they do other things. But they also go, here's the facts, motherfucker. This is what it is. And here's something that mainstream media won't tell you. This should be a big story. It's not, but it should be. And do with it what you will. But here are some facts about that.
Yeah.
And that's the people that really, that's what the old school media was supposed to be. The newspapers, the magazines.
Well, and I would say, like, I mean, if you go really look at the history of media in this country, there was a good time where news was doing that, and it may not have been all news, right? It wasn't like every news station was doing that, but there was a good collection of journalists that were out there that were trying to
Yeah, I know. They
give
used to
people
show up-
accurate shit.
They used to show up with a fedora and a pen and a pad at the fucking.
and listen to what was going on.
They had to go out and actually do shit too,
And-
not just
no,
sit in a
and-
seat
and if
in a
people-
newsroom and wait
and
for
if-
the shit to come in.
Yeah, no, and there was regular points where people would be like trying to bargain with them on please don't put that out kind of shit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But now they literally just go out and go, okay, what would you like us to tell them? You know what I mean? Like it's not a oh, I want to get the facts straight or you know, I need to get, that's just not the case. That's not what's going on. And most of the time you can tell. For anybody that doesn't believe me, you see any major story that gets broken that has to do with government, or and it doesn't even have to do with government, but just has to do with a major policy or something like that. And you can watch every single station; they will say the exact same shit. Like it's not a like I mean, and not just to the oh they're talking about the same thing, but to the degree that they are literally saying the same thing.
Every single. They just came out with that video. You know. Where it showed like all of these different.
Yeah, you know what? I actually saw that, and actually, to tell you the truth,
Conan, I think, was the first one on late night to put it together like years ago, or Jon Stewart, I think, might
yeah,
have
I was about
done
to say,
it.
yeah, no, I think it was Jon Stewart. No,
But they did it again, where everything's like this word for word. We hand script the company that owns these stations hands down a script for everybody in local markets to fucking read word for fucking word.
Yep. And that's what people don't understand. They're like, oh, so you think that Fox, our local Fox, is somehow involved in this big organ? And you're like, yeah, dude, that your local Fox is in it just like any other.
Sure.
Just like your local Walmart is getting orders from the Walmart headquarters. That's not crazy that's the way it happens. That actually makes perfect sense that it happens like that. But it's just ridiculous, man. I mean, you're getting false information. Or here's the deal: if you are getting false information, you're getting false information across all mediums.
Sure, you're right.
That's what sucks.
It doesn't matter if
it's not
ABC, Fox News, or local. All these local NBC, all these local affiliates.
Mm-hmm.
If they're owned by the same company, they get this shit handed down to them, and they'll read it word for word. But it's. I don't know. It's just a real roll of the dice, and it's like, you know, I hate to be the. You know, there's another part of it that's like, you know, the whole www.imright.com fucking file that's like, no, but we do seek out the things that are important to us, right?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I can find an independent media outsource, you know, for what I care about and what I want to see covered. You know, it's like, sorry, the same people that want to tell us how to think socially are still putting out fucking, here's the cast of Jersey Shore now. What are the Kardashians doing? Like the same outlets are have like these entertainment divisions that masquerade as fucking news still. And it's like, no, sorry.
Yeah. Dude, I
So
mean,
not-
how I mean, I don't know. Maybe my fucking my Instagram little feed there is a little bit different than everybody else's. But actually, on Instagram, I intentionally tried to not just have only political or philosophical fucking pages. You know, I intentionally tried to fucking mix it up a little bit. But so I don't know anything about it. Right? I just heard that Jersey Shore is evidently coming back. Or something like that.
I never watched one fucking episode,
neither
dude.
have I, but here's my thing is that I was just really, really fucking surprised that there were people that were excited about it.
Or that cared.
That got me. I was like, wait, like they're coming back and y'all are going like, hey dude, Jersey Shore's coming back. Like that's
Is it?
like really? Like I felt like if Jersey Shore ever tried to make a comeback, right, that people would have been like, I'm not watching that bullshit. But evidently that's not the case.
we'll get through this article, hit our top of the hour break, so we can hopefully try to get a little bit more back on time. But the work request from DHS seeks a firm that has the ability to monitor up to 290,000 global news sources, ability to track media coverage in up to 100 languages, and the ability to, quote, track online, print, broadcast, cable, radio, trade, and industry publications, local sources, national, international outlets, and traditional news sources, plus social media.
Now, what other fucking traditional news sources are they? They just said print, video, and fucking radio.
What they just said is everything that you could possibly think.
Absolutely, yeah. No, absolutely everything that you can think of is going to be tracked. Yeah.
But you know, it also says here, creating an online, quote, media influence database. Not tracking. This is, by the way, let's go back to that previous fucking quote from the Homeland Security spokesperson. This is nothing more than the standard practice of monitoring current events in the media. Then why are you building a fucking database?
God damn. And no, and that's exactly what it's saying. It's not even saying like just to monitor. That's not a, they're not just saying monitor. They're saying a database. Like, no, this will be filed, kept, and saved.
But not only that, these people that are like upset about like how I'm not saying that we're a part of that or whatever, you know. I mean, we are more, quote, like in the traditional sense, quote, conservative leaning with that kind of stuff. But what's given birth to the alt-right and all of these, what seemingly are like these sketchy ass right wing, you know, every facet of the right wing has like this underground media, you know, your gun shit, your fucking you know, your economic shit, your race baiting shit, your whole the white man will rise again stuff, and you know, this, that, and the other. Yeah, you know, what's given birth to that is fucking actual mainstream media sources not fucking doing their job by being, quote, fair and balanced, or saying it like it is.
Well, I don't think people realize that the more irrational you are towards the people that you dislike, the more you build them up, the more you cause them to get defensive. And that's what you've seen with the whole fucking, and this isn't justifying those people, but I mean, that's what you're seeing with the alt-right, is that you got a bunch of white dudes fucking radicalized because you made them feel like they were fucking being persecuted constantly. And, you know, you put out things like the MTVs, Dear White People, shit like that. Like you, and it wasn't that, it wasn't just that, it wasn't just that MTV put that out, but it was that MTV put it out and no one batted an eye. No one flipped out on them. No one gave them shit for it. And what ends up happening is the people that feel like that explains them, or that's, you know, aimed at them, if those people are just stupid enough, they get radicalized and that becomes their fucking battle call. And
Absolutely.
And that's what sucks. And it's like, no, it doesn't justify it, but it does explain to you why that kind of shit is happening. And people need to understand that, you know?
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And like I said, it's not only that, but you just look at the fucking, like the mind control like aspect of the whole thing.
Yeah.
As far as like, okay, so let's get this right. And this was the thing, like, which you want to talk about me, like really upping my game in the fucking, you know, awakening game is, and, you know, me and my ex-wife lost our fucking jobs after being like cut down to part-time, and we were just like, it's not that we, you know, did a bad job or nothing, it was just the way the fucking economy was. And it was, and then you saw the emergence after the bailout that fucking all the news, TV, especially media organizations, just got so fucking consolidated, and a handful of these companies just ate up like all of the underground market, saturated everything with their fucking bullshit. And then it was like, oh, okay, I guess just these are the people that are going to tell us how to think, believe, and feel from now on.
This is them. Yeah.
Like the same people think that they're getting a different source from the bullshit that they put out on fucking MTV, as opposed to what they hear on their local radio station, as opposed to what they see on Nickelodeon, you know.
and it's like, no, listen, hey.
Owns Nick a fucking.
I was about to say, I was like, no, Viacom's delivering all that to you.
Right.
And that's what people don't understand is like, no, listen, Viacom.
Fucking kids, if you're letting them do it, you know, all that shit.
No, I mean, if I create a fucking Zach's propaganda channel, but then my three sub fucking companies of that are, you know, MTV and fucking Real News and fucking whatever the fuck, right? Like, I'm giving all three of them the fucking story. And so they are giving everybody the same fucking story just from a different outlet. And that's what's happening all over the fucking world.
And they've got writers that will fucking just put that in their little bit of fiction, you know, as they're writing sitcoms and
I mean, because you're not going to talk to the. Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know, like all of that shit is really starting to take place in your quote entertainment value. That's the part that I'll get into it. We're way overdue on break, so yeah, I would like to continue that a little bit before we get into our next conversation. Like what is the influence of all that? What are we really looking at when we fucking cut it all down? So we'll hit a short break here, 2 quick songs, and be right back. Stay tuned, everybody. More Post Politics coming up next. You know it, you love it.
Don, tell us how it really was when you was working with Daddy.
Well, in 1950, I took a little nip along with Mr. Williams on our way to Mississippi. We were stacked 8 deep in a Packard limousine when we met this promoter in the town of New Orleans.
Well, a man told Daddy he had what it took, and he liked the way it sang, and he liked the way it shook.
He said pretty soon he'd make us all rich, and we started believing that fat son of a bitch.
Now, Daddy told a man, if you want to make some dough, take a little money and book me on a show.
And we played them dates and we filled the places well, but Hank, he done blowed the profit all to hell, cause he'd run through a 10 and he'd run through a 20 and he'd run through 100 just as hard as he could go.
Like a big dope talk to a little bitty feller, he spent $1,000 on a $100 show.
I've been to the opera and I'm going back again. We met the owner in a little office there, a big fat fella with some artificial hair. He told Hank he wanted half of everything he made, or he'd have to tell Audrey about some women Hank had laid.
And you told Daddy he better get smart, get rid of them fellas and make a new start.
And he fired my ass, and he fired Jerry Rivers, and he fired everybody just as hard as he could go.
He fired old Cedric, and he fired Sammy Pruitt,
and he fired some people that he didn't even know.
Y'all was working like hell and you was having fun.
We was riding every day and playing every night, and every 20 minutes some of us had a fight.
Now Daddy, he was making money hand over fist, and y'all were getting screwed, but you wasn't getting kissed.
Yeah, I told him to pass a little bit around, but he said he'd rather send it to his folks in Alabama.
So he fired your ass, and he fired Jerry Rivers, and he fired everybody just as hard as he could go.
Fired old Cedric, and he fired Sammy Pruitt, and he fired some people that he didn't even know.
He's doing pretty good. He's got a music company that they call Cedarwood.
And Hank played nothing but sold-out halls, and I was pumping gas in greasy overalls, cause he fired my ass, and he fired Jerry Rivers, he fired everybody just as hard as he could go.
He fired old Cedric, and he fired Sammy Pruitt,
and he fired some people that he didn't even know. Hank run through a 50, and he'd run through 100, and he'd run through 1,000 just as hard as he could go.
Fired Cadillac, who's paying double alimony,
and he fired some people that he didn't even know.
Don, you know, you used to work for me one time.
I sure remember that, but come to think of it, you fired my ass back in 1972.
Oh, well, that's a family tradition, you know, Don.
Yeah.
But I kept Jerry Rivers.
Right.
Riverside Hotline. May I help you?
Yeah. Well, I'm about to fucking kill myself.
Listen, you don't want to do that, okay? You don't want to do that.
I'm gonna... There's so many fucking reasons why I don't even need to be here anymore. I'm gonna put a slug in my fucking head.
You don't want to do that. You want to be on Earth, okay?
Fuck that shit, man. I got a gun right now.
Put it away,
and I got it right under my chin, man. Fuck that.
Take it away from your
I'm gonna
chin.
fucking blow my head all over the ceiling.
No, you're not. Okay.
Fuck this shit, man.
Hey, just talk to me, okay?
It ain't no point to me waking up. Everybody's time I'm taking up. I got nobody. It ain't a shoulder near. I can't stay here and it's colder there. I don't wanna look back cause it's gonna hurt. I slice my wrist and it's gonna squirt. For me, everybody holds a hate. I get backstabbed and everybody holds a stake. It's no roads to take. I'm in a circle drive. Busting at myself and I'm trying to survive. I'll disappoint you and I will let you down. And I ain't got many homeboys coming around. You don't understand, so don't say you do. I swear I'll put a motherfucking slug in you. I'm the only one, the lonely one, at home alone loading a gun, thinking why not?
Why not? Why you want that, okay? Okay, you have feelings inside of your head, okay? I understand that. Feelings lead to depression. When you have depression, you have a lonely void inside of your heart, okay? And your heart means everything to the world. Okay?
I got court coming up. I stole the truck. I got a bitch pregnant and I'm broke as fuck. I wanna get high, but I got piss test. I'm always first name on top of shit list. Get this, the witches made my chest. It's permanent nightly visiting nest. It ain't no clothes that I look good in. I'm the motherfucking big red train that couldn't. I got no family, I stole they shit. Restraining orders and I still won't quit. I hit rock bottom and then I fell in a hole and then I fell through the floor of that hole some more. I've been missing for a year, nobody's looking. I got beat down and my shit took in. I look ahead and all I see is more of the same, or this self-inflicted bullet hole pouring my brain.
Okay. Pouring my brain. I understand that you're in pain, okay? I understand everything you're going through. I've been there myself, okay? Now, your pain is my pain, all right? And I feel your pain, and I want to be your friend. Just me and you.
I dream about cutting heads off with a shovel. The dreams are getting serious, think I'm in trouble. I don't hold memory for more than an hour. I'm tired as fuck and I'm drained of power. I ain't halfway there and I'm all out of time. I'm like a crushed light bulb, all out of shine. I've been around the world and no place is home. I wanna see the other side when I face this chrome. I'm butt naked, I've been jacking off, getting drunk. It's my last hours alive, who gives a fuck, it don't matter. I'm doing this shit in the garage, trying to make it easier for them to clean my head splodge. This bitch I loved, I hope she finds me still up in a chair with my thoughts behind me. I'm about to do it. Can you hold for a second?
Wait a minute.
Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Where are you at?
Right down the street.
With who?
My girl Shannon. We were wondering if we can stop by.
Well, shit. Yeah. Come on by.
Really?
Yeah. Hey.
I know, bring some blunts, alright.
Uh-huh. All right, bye.
Smoke weed every day.
All right, everybody, we're back. Post politics. Oh man.
So I actually, when it's, so I'm big on caffeine. All right, I don't know if I've,
dude, yeah.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I really do. Like, look, I live on caffeine from the moment that I wake up until the moment that I go to sleep. I pretty much take in caffeine. If not, like maybe about an hour or two before I go to sleep, I'll switch to water, like just strictly water, right? I mean, I drink water throughout the day, but I mean, you know, like that's all I'll drink before I go to bed. But so what sucks with that is once it gets hot here, I can't just fucking drink coffee all day when it's hot as fuck outside, you know? So that's why I drink Monsters, right? But now but see, I don't drink the regular Monsters because I don't like carbonated shit. I drink they make a raspberry tea Monster. It's like, it tastes like tea, but it's raspberry tea. So I drink that because I'm not big on carbonated shit. Like, it fucking gives me, like, I have to fucking burp for every 5 minutes for.
Yep.
So that's what, like, you know, I do the little, they're called Monster Rehab, right? But
okay.
So I drink.
Yeah, I know about those.
Yeah, I drink those during the day, and
I used to the Monster Assault. That was my.
Oh man, those are the fucking. Aren't those like the extra caffeine ones, right?
I don't know. Those were the ones that when they had Modern Warfare 2 that came out, like
I got you. Yeah,
I didn't drink them for too long, like maybe a year and a half. But
I got you.
on
Yeah,
that.
no, dude, I had so many people that were like, while I was drinking, because I was like, I drink Monsters, and like, evidently you were supposed to like hide that for a while there because it was like satanic or some kind of like I was part of the fucking problem type of deal, right?
Yeah, I
Like,
forgot about that. Yeah,
oh, dude, people were trying to sell me that shit. Oh, dude, like they'd be like, well,
at the apex of conspiracy laden fucking Satan underground. you know?
They were like, that's the Hebrew symbol for 666, right? And I was like, well, cool,
No,
man.
we just listened to Slayer and Marilyn Manson.
That's what I was. Yeah, like that's what my thing was. Is that I'd be like, cool, man, and they're like, that doesn't bother you, and I was like, why should that bother me, right? And they're like, well, I mean, they're like, and I'm like, I mean, did they put like Satan juice in it? Like, it's not like I'm like, you know what I mean? Am I possessed? Am I possessed now? Like, is that what happened? And no, you're not possessed. I mean, it's just that they support, and I'm like, dude,
Can the devil's juice again there, Zach?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, dude, I don't know if you noticed, we were just listening to Marilyn Manson's Reflection of God in the car. Like, should I really, you know what I mean? Should I be worried about, should I really be worried about this? But yeah, so anyway, long story short, all I was saying is turn that into an entire conversation. But what I was trying to say was I just speed made a cup of coffee while those songs were on, is what I was getting onto, because the weather, it's fucking cold as fuck.
Yeah,
outside.
it's headed this way. It's gonna start fucking
It's fucked up,
You know
dude.
what,
It
dude?
happened in a matter of like 30 minutes, dude. It was hot as fuck one day. It started raining. I walked outside and I was like, what the fuck is going on out here?
And you know what, man? Living it where we do, I'm perfectly fine with it. You think it's like
Yeah.
cold as fuck, but it's not January cold as fuck. You know?
No, I mean, it's one of those. I mean, I'm saying it's cold as fuck. If I look at my phone, I'm pretty sure it's like 66. So
Right. I think starting Tuesday we've got like 70s and 50s again.
and
I got
it's 57. It's 57 out there. Right
yeah,
now.
I right. Like for here, like so whatever you
Yeah.
guys just got will be here in the next day or two. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
but the
I actually love it.
I got
mean,
I could do 70s. I could do mid 50s lows, mid 70s highs every fucking day. Oh, why don't you move to California? Why? Because they have the highest state income tax.
you
And-
see, the problem with California is it's full of
Cocksucker.
Californians.
Right.
we need that bit too, right? The problem with Scotland is that it's full of Scots.
problem
no, I
Scot- is full of Scots.
like, oh, dude, I'm not moving to California. They got a bunch of people from California over there. Fuck that.
By the way, Longshanks is like one of
There
the
you
best
go.
ones of all time. You know, Team Fuck yeah.
No, Texas. All right, come on.
Oh. Hold on a sec.
What happened? My Texas shirt broke Trip's fucking.
All right. Yeah, no. It's Brittany was trying to sell me on something new a couple days ago. We were
And
looking
fucking ruined everything.
Yeah, we were looking at headphones for one of the kids, I think. But she's like, this one's got a Bluetooth and a mic in it. And I'm like, I've got a fucking mic that's $200 more than that fucking thing. You know,
dude. Yeah.
So she's like, and these are whatever. I said, these are the best cans that I've ever had.
Look,
and
these-
it lasted me like 3 years. Like
These
I've had.
headphones that I've got on right now have a mic on them, right?
Right.
And I fucking disconnected the fucking mic internally in the fucking headphones so that I could use this one up here because it fucking sucks. I
Awesome.
want this one. You know what I mean?
Cool, yeah, fucking. But anyway, point being, it might be time to invest in some new headphones, just because that thing that you guys hear when it fucks up like that is, due to the headphones, not
Is
any.
that, do you got are they like USB or are they
No. I've got because I've got like the
because they're
main.
wired. I can see they're wired, right? Like
Yeah. I've got like main head jack adapter, and these have just like the regular fucking auxiliary cable shit that I plug into the adapter. But it's where the cord meets the adapter.
I gotcha.
In trouble. So it is the actual. Actually, you know what? I could just go get another fucking adapter for these phones. Honestly, like a good auxiliary cable to hook up between the two.
I mean, they look a little outdated,
Yeah.
but you know,
I like these.
if
I like
you're fucking comfortable, that's kind of the thing. No, I mean, with these, the ones I got on, the ones I have on got ripped. All right, when my dog was a puppy, he ripped the little fucking padding that's on the little, the little piece that goes in between them.
Yeah.
Right here, you can actually see it like comes off when I'm, But he ripped it, and I don't care because these are my favorite fucking headphones. So
Right.
I'm like, nah, dude, I like these.
That's the main thing with
Yeah,
these.
the weight is perfect. They feel good on my head. Fuck you. If I get some other ones, I got to get used to some other fucking headphones.
So
fuck, we
the-
are old, dude. God damn it.
The champ,
I just realized that.
the champ lost his goddamn mind. Looks like he's going to be spending most of that Mayweather money in fucking lawsuits because he.
Ah, yeah, dude. I heard he. All right, now here's the deal.
I watched the prelim. Right quick. I watched the prelims last night. I did not order the UFC event, and I highly doubt. I'm sure that will show. I'm sure that will be the fucking headline Monday morning. Is how much lower the fucking pay-per-view count was for UFC this time as opposed to however many the past couple months, because there's a handful of fights that had to be taken off of the card. People got injured, and McGregor, like, don't get me wrong. Okay, here's my stance on this. All right. Yeah, he's the champ.
And go over what happened real quick.
Okay, so he went out and at the weigh-in for what happened Saturday night for the UFC event for Saturday night, Barclays Center, fucking Brooklyn, New York. Okay, and UFC has gone through a hell of a lot of shit to try to get a what we'll deem as like your typical boxing license for MMA for them to have an event
in New York.
In New York.
New York has been opposed to them being there pretty much since it's never been there, right? It hasn't.
I think they've done it, but it's
no.
been,
I think they. But I want to say it's been like once. Like, I mean, it was a big deal that for them not to.
Yeah,
like, they weren't in New York for a very long time.
It was last year the first time that they were able to do.
All right, yeah.
It was last year sometime when they were first able to do it, and so they've been. And of course, it's a huge draw. It's in Brooklyn, this place that they hold this event. It's in Brooklyn and at the Barclays Center, and they have tried, and this has been a lot of money, a lot of lawyers, a lot of fucking applying by rules and conditions, etc., just for them to be able to have a UFC event in New York. And that just came to fruition last year. One of the very few events, I can't stress enough that fucking Dana White is losing his fucking mind over this.
Yeah. No, I mean, oh my God, dude. I mean, and that was the thing. I actually read the, it's like McGregor apologizes to Dana White, and I'm like, oh, that's not going to be enough, sir. Like, no, fuck you, dude. Like, Dana White, you basically like shit on that man's dreams and sent him an apology. Like, nah.
That, but it's like, how did you think that this was going to turn out, man? Yeah, I made a meme that I posted on the Post Politics page and shared it myself, and caught a good enough of heat, I guess, as far as our reach and stuff. But I made this meme, which was Connor's mugshot, and it said, "When you spend all your Mayweather money fighting in a legal battle with a $1 billion corporation."
Yeah.
So, that's basically what this is at this point. And like I said, many cards off the table, last minute ads just to get somebody to fight somebody that was either injured or couldn't do it because of XYZ, etc.
Yeah, I mean, like, and I saw, I mean, like, he's like going off on the bus and shit. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, dude, I want to fast forward to what I was about to fucking kind of throw myself into, which was this whole deal of this CM Punk. Like, Conor McGregor is the CM Punk of fucking the UFC. It's like, look, you had a box, you didn't have your belts challenged in an event, and then you did the Mayweather fight
Yep.
That was last year, bro. That was fucking 6 to 8 months.
The fact that you should not have a belt anymore, that's not fucked up.
You have to fucking, you can't just say, let's just say also, like, of course, like boxing, MMA, this is a short lifespan. Now, while you might have fuck you money at this point,
yeah,
other guys that fucking want a shot at that fucking title don't have fuck you money yet, and time is chipping away for them to fucking be able to obtain that. So it's like, if you're not actively fight,
not everybody got a contract to go fight in a different fucking sport this year. You know what I mean?
If Connor wants to fucking say twice a year, I will fight somebody, and you're the champ, 6 months is 5-6 months is enough time for you to say, I'm going to keep this belt until somebody takes it from me. Not only that, it makes the company money. WWE has that down where it goes, no, we're only going to put this belt on the fucking line, in a real aspect against a real opponent X amount of times a year, and building towards WrestleMania, yada, yada, yada. If you have 2 cards of Connor trying to, quote, protect his belt like twice a year, that's enough time for you to take that fight. And Connor did not do that. He just did not do that.
No,
he was going, no, I'll take the fight whenever I want to. And it's like, no, dude, you can't hold the belt for that long without saying like, no, you hold the belt. We're going to strip you of the belt,
and it's not fucked up. Here's the thing. Like, I've been, since Connor's been a deal, like I've said, dude, I love Connor. I think he's fucking awesome. Here's the deal though. You don't get to just, because you made some fuck you money in a different sport, mind you, not in the same fucking, you're not even in the same fucking sport. You went and made
good sportsman too, by the way.
No, you're not. You're being a fucking piece of shit, actually, because you got a belt, and now you're saying that you won't even give anybody the opportunity to prove that they're as good as you are, or better, right? And so it's fucked up. It's a fucked up situation, and he's acting like an asshole, and then he acted like a spoiled little bitch after it, and it just kind of fucking, it sucks. You basically, you fucked up. What sucks is that he still, even losing that belt, he could have lost the belt and still had a great career in front of him by saying, hey, look, but I'll get it back, all right? I just, hey, look, I was down for a little bit. I was riding the celebrity thing out. You know what I mean? I went and tried my fucking, tried my hands in a different fucking sport to just see if I could do it and whatever. But now I'm back. If Mayweather wants to challenge me in the UFC, he can do that. I'm down for that.
Is that Mayweather's actually that we didn't cover that, but Mayweather's gone after a MMA license.
Yeah, no, he went after an MMA license, and I think that was one of the things they were actually looking at. What's funny is he was actually looking at challenging CM Punk, I believe, was the fight that he was looking at one point.
Really?
Yeah, no, which would be really smart for Mayweather, all right? Because Mayweather, I think, could probably take him.
But that's what I mean. Like every fucking fight that Mayweather takes from here on out is other than a McGregor in the octagon, other than a McGregor in the octagon fucking deal, is gonna be bad news for Mayweather. But if you
it's not going to though, because here's the thing: his fans are always going to support him.
I'm saying that's WrestleMania 11, Bam Bam Bigelow versus Lawrence Taylor. You understand?
Yeah, no, it's
the entertainment value of it. Like
it's Mike Tyson versus random white guy nobody's heard of. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's another one of those, and that's kind of the deal.
It's like Dennis Rodman joined the NWO. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I mean, I just don't give it like it is. It's one of those things. Look, it's the same reason why when we get into the Tyson discussions with people, like, hey, look, dude, I think Tyson was a beast. There is no doubt, like, that you could watch him in fights and see him fuck people up. But there was also a very good amount of time that Tyson fought no-name motherfuckers that you had never heard of. And a lot of times when Tyson went against big-name motherfuckers, he got his ass whipped. And that's just the way it was. It doesn't take anything away from Tyson. Tyson was a beast, and anybody who tried to deny that's full of shit. But
right, you just like look, man, these people still. I understand the point of people still having the need to have a career after their fucking heyday is over, but that doesn't take away from their heyday. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I'll put 1986 Mike Tyson up against fucking, the best that's ever been. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely. Now, I mean, yeah, it depends on what weight class you're going into, because there just haven't been heavyweights out there that were beasts like that. There really hasn't. I mean, when you look at it, the heavyweights, especially after the Tyson days,
you didn't see. I'll tell you what you didn't see before and really after that Tyson thing, where there was just that UFC-esque point about Tyson that would be like, you saw that one punch that was just like fucking took the soul out of somebody.
There was
that. You didn't.
I can't remember who it was, and I'm gonna go look it up now on YouTube here in a minute. But there was a fight where it was where you see the guy coming in on Tyson, man. I can't remember who it was, but you see him coming in, dude, and he gets like 3 swings at Tyson. And for people that never watched Tyson or that don't remember Tyson, one of the things that was so amazing about Tyson too is he could fucking move, dude. He would dodge fucking punches like a son of a bitch, and you didn't understand how that big son of a bitch was moving out of the way.
Tyson's defensive game is very understated.
Yeah, no, I mean, you would see him dip backwards twice, duck under a punch, and then come up with the most savage, fucking brutal punch you had ever seen in your life that just took a dude off his feet, and you were like, holy fuck.
And that was the other thing, like some of those like body shots that took people down from Tyson too look like pretty effortless. They don't look like brutal haymakers, you know, when you watch the replays. Like they look like something that was just, wow, he must have really caught him in the fucking right way. And I'm sure some of that, and I'm also sure of it, it's like, no, Tyson made that look effortless because you're not fucking Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying?
You don't understand that Tyson is a fucking beast. And,
right.
And that's the thing is that what's his name? What's the big dude the big guy that was and I always forget his name. We've talked about him a couple times, but the guy that was a big backyard wrestler or backyard boxer that fucking came into big, huge fucking black guy, like just diesel ass motherfucker.
Oh, Kimbo
Kimbo. Yeah. That people don't understand that, like, dude, you could watch a Kimbo beating on somebody. And I'm telling you, not one single punch though that Kimbo threw looked like a mean fucking Tyson hit. Like none of them looked as brutal as a solid fucking Tyson punch.
I honestly think somebody like Kimbo looks a lot more, maybe not, definitely in those backyard fights, but definitely not in the octagon. That Kimbo looked a lot more precise or technical of where he landed those shots.
Yeah. Well, I think too, Kimbo had a lot more time to like calculate that kind of shit when he was fighting somebody, and it being because I feel like since he was mostly fighting very unprofessional fighters, right?
Oh,
they were terrified of him.
Backyard fucking brawls ain't
exactly. So they were terrified of him going into it. Whereas at least with Tyson, some of these guys were, most of these guys, I mean, really all of them had been professional trained boxers that have been doing this for a while, so they didn't have the nervousness or the fear going into it.
Sure.
That some of these guys had with Kimbo. So you can see like people getting afraid to get close to Kimbo, and just being amateur boxers. So Kimbo had a little bit of time to kind of, I can get him here. You know what I mean? That kind of shit. Whereas, with Tyson, you're in the heat of the moment. There's both guys are trying to get in there. That kind of shit.
And there's no one there to help you.
Exactly, dude. I mean, dude, it really is, man. There are times that I go watch, the Tyson old highlight reels and shit, and you're just, damn, the dude was brutal.
You can watch. You can watch 5 straight minutes. Like anybody can go look that up in a moment's notice and just look at those, and you see like pretty much the end results of a lot of those fights. Mm-hmm. Tyson had in the mid to late '80s, and holy shit, Yeah,
the guy was a beast. And what sucks for Mayweather is that I won't take it away from him. I do believe, like, arguably the best defensive boxer of all time. But there will never be a time that you really give a fuck to go watch a Mayweather highlight reel. Like you know what I mean? Like, oh, dude, you want to go? You want to go watch Mayweather dodge fucking punches for fucking an hour? Like,
Right.
you want to go watch this guy stay out of this guy's range for 45 minutes or so? So that's what kind of sucks, is it's just not as entertaining. Whereas, the Tyson fights were entertaining as fuck.
Right. If Mayweather wants to make a believer out of me the way that I should be, I'm not saying I'm disrespect him or he's unrespected amongst that community, whatever.
Yeah,
but
he's a smart ass and he's annoying. But
let fucking
it's
Mayweather go put himself in the whatever, the 100-yard dash or whatever, because if your stamina and stuff is that, if that's your gimmick, then I want to see fucking him run a marathon in record time, or
I want to see. I mean, to tell you the truth, dude,
it's like, show me that you are what you say you are, and I'll say yes,
that's not even my deal. I
like,
want to see him. I do want to see him get into UFC, and I want to see what it looks like to see somebody get struck by Mayweather. I do, because I want to know what that's like. I want to know because you don't ever really see it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't see
with those gloves and
I want to see some small gloves. Now, mind you, he's broken his hands multiple times.
The ability to actually use your body as a weapon, the way that it's intended to, without being restricted.
Yeah.
In so many of the ways, dude, he will get rocked.
I really do think so. Maybe I'm,
and Conor,
maybe I get proved wrong, but
really didn't look great against Mayweather. He just didn't.
No,
but
I'd say he looked great. He looked great for a first time boxing the greatest boxer, the greatest defensive boxer of all time. He looked pretty fucking good.
Exactly. But did I say Mayweather?
No, you said Conor.
Yeah, Conor did not look great against him. However, I think that fucking Mayweather would look fucking terrible in an octagon. I mean,
I really don't. I think that there's going to be some crazy rules implemented on his fight. I think that there's going to be some real shit about not being able to take him to the ground that quick and shit like that.
I don't really think you can do that when you want to go into mixed martial arts. It's like, here's our rules. And fucking
no, I mean, I do believe those. Here's our rules, but I think when you're going into a celebrity like that, I think that they will fucking request certain shit.
I never think that Dana would fucking do that. I would be like,
I hope not.
Conor had to fucking. But what that really is limiting those. Boxing is limiting those rules. And
absolutely,
and if you look at things like Pride fucking is like to MMA what fucking boxing is to fucking UFC. You know what I mean? Like UFC is way more limited than fucking Pride is.
Oh yeah, Pride, dude. You were there. I mean, I don't know how the rules have changed or anything like that, because I haven't watched Pride in a very long time, but I know in Pride for a while, dude, you had guys that have fucking taken elbows to people's faces, dude, and they didn't give a shit. They don't stop you from that.
Yeah.
And you had dudes that were just beating motherfuckers in the cheek with their elbows. And for anybody that's not a fighter, doesn't watch fighting, and hasn't been into a lot of fights, like, look, dude, that's like the oldest trick in the book, is when you punch somebody, you follow through with that elbow and you're going to split their face open. And that's just, that's something that you're not allowed to do in the UFC. And, you see that shit in Pride, dude. You watch somebody punch him and then follow through and catch that fucking elbow at the end of it, dude, and you will split a dude's cheek wide open real quick.
I'm like a dude, like I'm like a fucking aim for the back of your head type of dude.
Yeah,
like,
punch through.
It's not about making contact. It's about fucking the follow through. And I don't care if you're talking about fighting or getting a job and doing it well or whatever it is. That's my fucking mantra in life.
Follow through on that shit.
That's fucking work ethic of this fucking show, dude, is you fucking follow through as hard as you can go. You know, so
it is
I don't aim to make contact. I aim to fucking put my fist through the back of your head.
I'm not trying to punch you. I'm trying to punch that wall behind you. Yeah.
Exactly. Hopefully you will be buckled by then. You know?
Yeah. No, I mean, it really is, dude. That is it's just one of those things I want to see. Because, I mean, here's the deal. Like, you don't make it to 50-0 which, like, okay, you could argue maybe 49-0 because his last fight was McGregor, right? But
Right.
you're still looking at 50-0, and you don't get there without being a good boxer. You just don't. You can't fake that. Like, it's impossible. So for the people that act like Mayweather isn't shit, it's like, dude, it's 50-0. Like, you don't do that.
But that's what I'm saying. For somebody that can actually grab a hold of you, you can't just dance around. You can't just dance around and fucking wear your opponent down.
No.
If you know that's that guy's strong suit in MMA, like Connor's got enough MMA into him, even though he's a stand-up fucking fighter, which is why
he's a striker, but it doesn't matter. He's gonna, like, dude, he's
take you down. He could grab a hold of you and take you down and fucking ground and pound
he's
you.
no amateur at jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean?
Right. There's not a screen. I would love to see fucking Mayweather do a fucking crab walk across the octagon away from Mayweather, just desperately trying to get a fucking away from him. Or away from Connor. You know, that just wouldn't happen in an octagon.
And that's what I'm saying. I mean, I really do. I think that'd be the
it's restricting the ability as much as you can from a street fight. Like, it's like Pride is like the next thing away from a
street fight, and then UFC is the next step up above that,
fight. Right? And then boxing is the classiest of the bunch, you know.
I just think you're not going to. I think Mayweather's big deal is going to be getting taken to the ground, dude. I really do. I think he's going to get took to the ground, and somebody is going to whip his fucking ass once he gets taken to the ground. Because I just don't. I mean, that's not something you can't just practice at fucking jiu-jitsu. And obviously I don't know fucking jiu-jitsu like that, but I've watched enough of it that, dude, you can't just go practice jiu-jitsu for fucking, 6 months and go fight with a dude that's been doing jiu-jitsu for fucking 12 years.
No, absolutely not.
Like,
and
it's just not the case.
Like, I'm talking, when was it? 2000. I started doing Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. In 2000, and I made it to the latter half of 2001. So like roughly like between a year and a year. Yeah, I would say like almost a year and a half that I was actively doing it because, I've told the story before. Like, it pretty much ended my fucking MMA and skateboarding career, getting my growth plate and my ankle popped.
Yeah.
Now, and I never rode a skateboard the same, and I was always sort of offstandish about actively doing MMA after that.
Yeah,
and
I've
that
talked
was
about it.
There was like less than 20 fucking UFCs. This was like when they did one every year or bi-yearly.
Yeah,
once or twice a year.
I would like to do it, and I've talked about it too. And as soon as I can, once I'm back into a regular swing of things, really, I want to start doing it, and not so much for back when I was younger, it would have been I want to know how to fight like that kind of deal. But really, I like the technical aspect of it. You know what I mean? I like
other than the UFC's, fucking Maynard James Keenan is what, like, me and my buddy, we were huge fucking Tool fans.
Yeah.
And I loved Tool so much just because, like, these guys didn't have to be in a band. They all
had other shit, and
Adam Jones is a fucking hero of modern day special effects in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like, and nobody really knows that. But Adam Jones, the guitar player of Tool, is fucking like, that fucking puddle scene in Terminator 2.
Yeah.
He did that.
I didn't know that. I mean, I knew he was special effects, but I didn't know he was the one for that.
He was involved in a lot of fucking cool shit. And like, we got into, of course, like Maynard found out, what's this Brazilian jiu-jitsu shit all about? Well, I used to take Taekwondo when I was a kid, but hey, what's this, or whatever. So I got,
which is funny because Taekwondo is so unrealistic as far as like
absolutely. It's all discipline and fucking memorization. It's really a game of memory
for sure
to move up in belts. I did it when I was a kid. I
did
mean?
too. Yeah, no, I did it when I was a kid too, and And I mean, also in our generation, that was your go-to fucking martial arts. If you were a kid, you know, he was like, "Oh, well, you go do taekwondo."
There was South Korean taekwondo shit in every storefront.
Oh,
you know?
dude, every storefront, every neighborhood, next to every fucking elementary school. Yeah, it was every fucking where.
But that's the part that sucks is that nowadays
there's jujitsu everywhere.
These kids have the ability to get into jujitsu at fucking 5 years old. You know,
no doubt, dude. And not only that, but you also have. What's cool is and like I said, I've never done jujitsu, but I no bullshit sat at home and watched jujitsu like training and sparring videos for hours just because it's that fucking interesting.
I do
like
it with my
when they're
kids.
talking about their like I mean the different submissions and the different ways to get at it and the way that leverage and things like that play into it is just really fucking interesting. And obviously my influence on that was Rogan, just because listening to Joe Rogan talk about it, you're like, wow, that sounds really fucking interesting, you know? And so you go watch it. And awesome.
I completely agree. And of course, you know, Rogan, matter of influence later in life. Like I said, this was like 2000 when I first started. Like late
this is
90s,
when
early
you knew
2000s.
Rogan was a comic and on Fear Factor, so it definitely wasn't.
I didn't even know he was a comic in 2000. I thought he was just a guy on Fear Factor at that point.
Yeah.
But no, it was something to take interest into, and like I think I really might want to start doing that a little bit more with my boy, because like for instance today we were we play around, like I toss him in the bed, we got this big fucking king size bed, so when he comes in here, it's like I tickle him or fucking wrestle him, or
a little boy wanting to play with.
You're right. Yeah, just a little dude time. But I also kind of roll with him. You know what I mean? I also like I'll put him in his small body.
Mm-hmm.
Like noticed, I'm like the technicality of like trying to like put a guard on your 3-year-old son. Whatever, and have him like kind of put him into the position of being able to put an arm bar on you and things like that. Like. It's terrible because Britt's really trying to get us off of this non-violent, non-aggressive thing so he doesn't like kill his classmates.
Well, I think though too, I think that's why jujitsu, like the actual schooling of it, would be very beneficial for him. Because it is one of those things that it's teaching you how to do it, but it is a discipline. You know what I mean? Like,
well, there's an art. It truly is the one that is an art form too.
And that's it absolutely is.
And I'm totally getting that now because of course I have to be light with my son when we do that. So it really is like this masterfully fucking like geisha type deal, to me when I'm rolling with him. And putting him in arm bars or like sleeper holds and guards, and him doing side guard to me, things like that. Like I don't really tell him what it is, but I try to guide him into those positions.
Well, mine was my
wrestling, if you will. But.
Yeah. No, my thing is that I've throughout my younger life, I guess I was involved in a lot more violent situations.
Sure,
and so I'm just not anymore, and I can feel where being able to get that kind of aggression and when I say aggression like that, people think that it's like, oh, you just want to beat up on people, and it's like, no, it's not like that, not that kind of aggression. I mean, just
a mosh pit is
it's that I want that competition again, that and that physical competition, like I enjoy it, and so I'd like to do something like that because it's not just hey, let's just get in here and fight. It's a very technical and
there's controlled chaos about
exactly. And it is that I enjoy the competition of it, and there's something riding on this. You know what I mean? Like I want to win this because of this, but it's also like we were both saying, it's very much an art form, and So I like that. I like the trying to improve on something that is an art form like that.
Right.
So I definitely want to get involved in it again. But
I just I need man, I got out in the yard this week and it just, I just need to get back into the swing of like a little bit more. I'm not gonna necessarily say physicality, but you know, working out those muscles and stretching and doing this that I was doing this time last year. Just got to get into it a little bit more.
No, I agreed. But I mean, I think we all kind of.
It's sore as fuck, dude. It's like this shit
I think
is
that
not.
happens every year, right? Like every year when, you know, winter's ending, it's getting warm again. Yeah, it's getting warm again. You're like, dude, I gotta fucking go quit being a lazy fuck that sits inside all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But it's,
yeah, man.
But it's you know, that's part of living in the fucking South where we don't go outside when it's below 50. You know what I mean? So it's now starting to get warmer outside again, and we have to be outside. You know?
Yeah, well, when you talk about things like yard work, absolutely, like you have to be. But you know, as far as that's concerned, other than that, I'm either doing yard work or I'm in the pool or traveling to work and back. If that's if it's not the case, I'm fucking inside because fuck out there.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I hate that I'm about to use.
That's how goddamn hot it gets where we live.
Yeah,
though.
fuck yeah, dude. No, I hate that I'm about to use fucking you know, prison as a reason for anything, but
right.
Also, you know, a year and a half ago or
It's
so,
so hot, smelly in there.
I was in I was in so much better shape because of the fact that I didn't have anything else to do.
Oh, sure.
Because I was in prison, so it was like, no, I go work at my little outside yard job that I do while I'm in prison, and then when I come back, I eat, I take a nap, and then I work out, and then I go eat, and I come back and work out, and then you know what I mean.
When chilling is no longer an option.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There's nothing else to do besides work out and eat. So I eat and I work out. And so really, even coming out, I still was in such good shape for, you know, the rest of the year because my body was still tight. And then I started working construction again. It was warm already. So yeah, my body just kind of kept good, you know, but now I've been fucking inside, sitting, not working out when I should be, and shit like that, and I can feel it in my body, and it's not one of those.
Dude, I've been dealing with that.
It's like my body feels saggy. You know what I mean?
I lay in fucking bed as often as I could today. Like I was sitting there just like making sausage patties this morning, like in the frying pan. And I was like, God damn, my knees and my back. Like I gotta fucking lay down because
man, I feel tired of fucking making sausage. Yeah, like that's not good.
It was like my neck and my back and my knees.
My neck and my back.
Shit. Yeah. It was like my neck and my back. But we can.
Doctor said I need a baggie out of me.
$20. You know? But it was because I fucking worked out in the yard, you know, pretty hardcore yesterday for the first time in a long time.
Which is good though. That's then that's good. That's you're sore from your fucking next day workout type of deal.
I definitely need to get more on it, but it's just like fuck, man. Like no, I don't want to anymore. But I know that that's all I got to make it good, so I have to. I got to do it, you know, and it'll be easier as I continue to do it. I just, you know, I was not feeling it today at all. I was like,
no. By the end of the summer, you're gonna feel like a god, and then you'll go into winter, and then by the end of winter, you're gonna feel like a piece of shit again. But hopefully, the next summer, you'll be able to fix that.
I'll put on another 10 to 15 pounds.
Yeah.
Fucking go. Okay, it's time to lose this shit again. You know, so. But
it's all right.
Yeah, no, it's not. It stinks. It's fucking.
I mean, yeah. But you just gotta understand that is the cycle, sir.
But that's what I mean, though. Like, where are we at in our lives where that just happens to be the case nowadays? Where we go, well, we know that this is just the cycle of life, and you know that
you just gotta take it.
Put on 10, 15 pounds, not give a fuck anymore, and then by the time summer and all that good shit rolls around, you're gonna be wanting to take it off, getting a little bit more active again. It's hot as fuck outside, and it's like, yeah, the next year's gonna be the same, and the year after that, and just hold on for dear life, sir. Okay,
You'll make it.
Just
make
keep
it.
doing it, even though you're sick of it. Just don't
I
don't
know you hate it. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
say. Just do yourself a favor and don't say to yourself, "I think I'm just decided to be a fat fuck" or whatever.
Dude,
Like,
I'll never do that. I gotta be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think I
It'll
would either.
be. I mean, now when I'm like, when I'm like fucking 70, I'll be a fat fuck,
It's
and I
hard
will,
here.
and I will taunt. Like at 70, dude, I'll be a fat fuck and taunt other people about my fatness. You know what I mean? Like how bad does it fucking bother you that I'm this fat and this fucking lazy, and you're still over there having to work to give a fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'll be a good day. You know?
Pass me the cakes.
Yeah.
But another 50 pounds. In the
We
neck.
had a friend of ours was talking to us about, and it's a mother of one of the girls, and we just recently really kind of started talking to her to any great links at all, and but she was talking about her father. She's like, I don't understand. He's worked his whole life, and now he quit his job, and he didn't have to. But he's fine. It's not like he's not like giving, he can still pay all his bills. He's still just fine. But he quit his job, and he got diagnosed with congestive heart failure, and Sam's a nurse, obviously, and she's like, everybody, I know this is going to sound insensitive, but I promise you, everyone gets diagnosed with congestive heart failure. Like, I know that sucks, but
there's also like, here's my dad's big thing, and kudos to him because he's fucking older now, and he's not, I understand, a certain amount of the fragileness that comes with just getting older, because my dad is probably better than most people at his age for how he's lived his life, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But he is just a super firm believer in that body in motion stays in motion. If I slowed down for fucking 1 minute, I'd become a decrepit old fuck in no time,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
it's just always been a goer,
Yeah.
Sleeps very little even to this day, but I'm happy to see him quote slow down a little, and I guess that seems
with her, she was saying that he quit. He got diagnosed with congestive heart failure, but now he just sits at home and smokes weed all day.
Yeah, that's.
And I was like, no, but I mean, it was like, dude, but he's like 72, all right?
Yeah, you got to take
So I
it
was
easy.
like-
but
so I
you
was
can't,
like-
you can't fucking, you can't just become a fucking.
No, I mean,
yeah,
don't be a waste of fucking space or anything, but
a fucking part of the
more,
couch.
I was like, dude, more power to him, dude. Like, he's 70, and wait, so he worked his entire life.
Sure, at
And
72.
now he's, yeah, like, fuck you, dude. I'm gonna smoke pot, drink whiskey, and watch TV. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? like I don't know, like.
But you also don't want to
Leave me the
fucking
fuck
die
alone.
either, so
Nah, yeah.
you got-
Well, I mean, I gotta be honest, dude. At about 72, I don't think it's gonna bother me all that bad. I can't
Yeah.
imagine that at 72, I'm gonna be like, no, man, I gotta keep moving so I can stay healthy because I really want to make 80. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm gonna be that guy.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I think at about 72, I'm gonna be like, hey, fuck it, dude. If I go out anytime between now and 80, I'm pretty much fucking cool with it.
They give me any sort of shitty diagnosis after 70 where it's like, hey, and by the way, my grandfather that recently passed had that. It just so happens that the fucking cancer took him out before the fucking congestive heart failure did. But
Yeah.
the 2 years prior to learning that he had cancer, we found out that he had congestive heart failure and had 2 fucking serious episodes where he could have died due to that congestive heart failure.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, basically everybody that I know, they give you pretty much a 5-year sentence on that. If you're deemed, to have congestive heart failure, that's gonna, and nothing else is the matter with you, you're probably going to be taken out in 5 years is the lifespan of that.
Yeah, and I think, I do think it's one of those things that, I mean, honestly, if another example, and obviously, not giving away any personal things about these people, but I get, Sam tells me stuff that, is going on at work or whatever, and she's a nurse, so I hear, all different kinds of stuff, and there was somebody also that had just gotten diagnosed with like stage 4 cancer, right? Yeah. And she was like, but I've known these people forever. They've been going here for forever, right? And so she's like, I just don't like, what do I, what do I tell somebody? Like, and I mean, obviously that's a really hard thing, right? Like you're responsible.
I don't ever want to be like that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit that takes a toll on you as a person long after your shift is up. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And I think though, my thing with it is that it sucks because I thought about it like, what if I was in that situation and not having to tell somebody, but what if I had just been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer? And I got to be completely honest with you. I wouldn't go seek any kind of treatment. I would smoke weed and do the best I could to just enjoy what life I had left.
Try to do as much as I could to.
I mean, I would try and do stuff like I would never do
cannabis.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. I would do absolutely
yeah,
zero chemo, zero of any of that shit. Like it would be like, listen, anything that you are telling me that I should do that is going to make my life more painful while I'm still here, I'm not doing. Because here's my thing, I'm not gonna spend the last, whatever of my life in fucking pain. Like I'm just not gonna do it. Like, or at least unnecessary pain would be the best way to put that. And it seems that a lot of the treatments for fucking cancer, like even stuff that's not chemo, seems like it's just stuff that just is a pain. And it's like, dude, I don't like. Look, dude, if you have stage 4 cancer, like, and you've just been like stage 4 is not. It's not like they're just gonna cut something out of you and you'll be fine, kind of deal.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like your shit's coming to an end real soon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think, dude, if I got diagnosed with something like that, I think I'd be like, listen, I want to let my family know that I love them fucking as much as I can, and I want to enjoy what little bit of time I have left as much as I can. You know what I mean? But it's just hard, man. Like, and I guess you forget that people are going through that constantly. Like while you have, that has nothing to do with your life at the moment. Your life may have nobody dying in it, but you just forget that, like, fuck, man, that's something that's going on with people all over the place all the fucking time. Yeah, little fucking guy. Where's that? So wait, hold on. So whose is that? Is that y'all's?
Yeah.
And I didn't know y'all had that little shit.
This is Brittany's dog.
How old is he? Her, whatever.
She's a little shit. She's her oldest dog, who's almost 8 years old. This is the daughter of that dog.
Okay.
So, I didn't want.
What's a fucking min pin, or is it a?
That's a Chihuahua.
Oh, okay, I couldn't see.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just high enough for me to. Yeah, it's a Chihuahua. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So do they do the?
She's watering her plants outside. Like, what are you doing?
Do they do the little fucking yipping thing all the time? Yip,
yeah.
Yip. Oh, dude, I can't stand that shit, dude. No.
But not yip yip. But when they go outside, it's like they are like, we're outside and we're fucking in charge in this
We're gonna
side.
tell everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
I can't do it.
Well, yeah, I don't really like these dogs that much. I like my dog.
Yeah.
I don't like these two little Chihuahua dogs. She's like, they're so little, they're easy to take care of. And I'm like, yeah, but you have to, like, that's still like, you have to hear them and you have to deal with them and you have to feed them and fuck these dogs.
Yeah, so no, I love it. I have
fuck these dogs, but
I have a pit bull and he doesn't bark unless there's somebody walking up to my door. You know what I mean? Like I love that. Like he doesn't.
A side yard next to a golf course where everybody comes to walk their fucking.
Yeah.
So like they go batshit crazy if they're outside because there's something going on out there. But
at all times, yeah.
Well, needless to say, we've come to the end of our riff here tonight.
Yeah, man. It's a fucking quick show tonight.
Yeah. We'll get in. We'll try to make a more traditional show for Wednesday, but hey, it's WrestleMania.
I love these kind of shows, man.
They're
the most fun.
Some shit we needed to. So, but we also got some good stuff out as well that we normally would.
Sure.
But all right, everybody. And I'm gonna put this fucking. This is gonna be a tough decision for Zach to make. I just have to tell you guys this. Okay, so we have Hatebreed, Guar, and South Park Mexican.
Oh, wow, dude. Fuck you. You are right on that, huh? God damn. Oh, man.
I know.
I think I'm gonna go South Park Mexican, but I'm only gonna do it because I feel like that's the one out of them that I've had the chance to select the least. You know what I mean? Ah.
Catch you guys Sunday.
Check 1, check 2, let's take a cruise. I done did a game every which way but lose. Nothing left to do except collect my cash. And I bet that ass that the next gon' last. Put my past on paper.